Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Khalid, I saw your video and I just wanted to, I don't know, give you some advice or at least share something with you. Um, I understand where you're coming from, and it's very easy to give up on faith than to have faith. It's like, first of all, you have to understand what faith is. Faith is like, give you an example, like when you get into your car, you have faith that it will start, right? You have faith that it'll take you from point A to point B. You never get into the car saying, I'm going to get into an accident today, right? And this is what faith in God is. It's having that blind belief that God exists. I don't need to go and tell you that there are the sciences of the Quran. I don't need to go and tell you that, okay, you haven't met Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but you do know that the Quran was around at least 1400 years ago. The science in the Quran that's there was not known 1400 years ago. So I don't need to tell you that. I think what it is that you've been bashed up a lot and you haven't taken a time to recover. And I know you had created a video saying that you would spend some time away from everything and basically reflect, read the Quran and recover. And I don't think you've done that, and you just continually put yourself in a position where you got bashed. And from there, it's where your faith started decreasing and decreasing and decreasing to the point where it is today. So, brother, first thing I would tell you is take some time and reflect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, more or less to the effect that everything around you is a sign. As far as, miracles, this, that, the other, I'll give you my personal example. That I know for a fact that God exists, and it may not be much to you, because you didn't experience it, but I did. And when I got married to my wife, okay, first of all, we didn't see each other until a day before our wedding, and we were, while I was there, and I flew to Pakistan, where, around this time of the year actually, and there, if you go there, it's hot. They're always praying and begging for rain. And while I was there, the day of our nikah, I performed 2 rakat nafil salat, and I asked Allah, Allah, I really don't know if this is the best decision for me. If it is the best decision for me, allow the rain to fall. And I did this, right after sunrise, and throughout the entire day, I was very worried because of the fact that there was not even a single cloud to be seen, okay? And after our nikah and everything, when we came out, lo and behold, it was raining, and well, someone could say that's coincidence, this, that, the other, but if you were there, you would understand that there was not even a single cloud, and it was raining. Like really raining. My point is this thing, that there are signs of Allah everywhere. It's a matter of you taking the time to look for those signs. Is it easy to disbelieve in God? Yeah, it's easy. That's why life is a test. And I know that's not something that you want to hear. You want to hear something else, but that's what life is. Life is a test. It is there to test your faith. Like for instance, if I were, to you it may sound cynical, but you have, if I were a parent and I'm trying to find, which of my child I can trust with my wealth, what will I do? Well, I'll put all the wealth in front of my children, and the one that refuses to touch it, that's the one that I would give the wealth to. The one that refuses to squander it, that's the one that I would want to give my wealth to. And do I hate my other children? No. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not hate His creation. If we didn't do wrong, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have destroyed all of humankind and put another being there. And I don't remember if it was a hadith or if it was in the Quran that I heard this from. Um, but that is what, the teaching of Islam is. And you have to remember, the only hadith that I actually have memorized is the Prophet ﷺ had said, "Dunya sajdul mu'min wa jannatul kafir." That this world is a hell for the believers and a paradise for the non-believers. And in the simple pleasures we find comfort, right? We find comfort in women. I mean, like you're talking about the women, this, that, the other. And I sat there and I thought about it for a second, and it's like, yeah, it'll be amazing if you can just go and do whatever you have to do with any and every woman. But then you think about the ills of society. You look at the societies where there are so many children without a father. You look at you don't have to go far. New York, Philadelphia, all these places, Newark, New Jersey, and Camden, New Jersey, and all these other places. You just go there and you look and you see that there are children that they don't have a father because of the same philosophy that, hey, she's hot, let me sleep with her, and sometimes the no glove no love philosophy does not work, and the woman ends up pregnant, and what happens to that child now? It becomes a burden on society, so you have to look at it in all aspects. I'm not saying that this is a proof for God. I'm just saying that just the philosophy that you marry a woman before you sleep with her, because she becomes a responsibility on you, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has entailed in the Quran. It's there, and it can be seen as to why it's a good thing. It's a good philosophy, and you think about it too. Okay, if you didn't have the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then basically any of the other laws, the laws of the different societies that you go to, they wouldn't apply to you either, right? Because they're all based off of either the Quran or the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita or whatever holy scripture. That's what most of the laws of any country is based out of. So you won't follow that either, right? And you would get to the point where we become a Sodom and Gomorrah, where it's like orgies and homosexuality and everything else like that is prevalent. That's the thing to do, Now, maybe you don't believe in Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know where your faith has taken you, but brother, I humbly request you, take some time away from everything. Take some time for yourself. Take some time and reflect. Take some time and pray. Yeah, we do the regular salat prayer. Great. If you can do that, great. If you can't do that, brother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closer to you than your jugular vein. Just remember that as well. A lot of times people tend to forget that, and they think that the only way you can pray to God is you stand and you perform the salat. No. Make a dua. Ya Allah, help me. Ya Allah, guide me. Ya Allah, protect me. Ya Allah, clear my intentions. Ya Allah, grant me patience. Grant me knowledge. Grant me wisdom. Do that, my friend. Do that, and inshallah, your dua will be answered. The truth will be revealed to you. Now, I don't know what else advice I can possibly give you, but from one brother to the other, be aware of what you're doing, because when you're putting yourself in a position where you will be bashed, if your faith is not strong enough, you will lose it. And this is why a lot of brothers will tell you don't debate and this, that, the other, because of the fact that when you don't know how strong your faith is, it is truly tested when you're out there meeting with the non-Muslims, and it's very easy to lose faith. It's easy to give up on the things that are truth, You know, the Prophet ﷺ had said, I don't recall the exact hadith how it goes, but more or less to the effect that, you know, a time will come when a lie whispered will be believed more than the truth yelled at the top of someone's lungs. You have to be aware, brother. You have to be aware of these things. You know, I don't know what else I can possibly tell you. Everything else you basically know. You know what is in the Quran. You know, whether you've read the entire Quran or not, you know what's there. You know that the science of the Quran is there. You know that the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. You know, as for our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, you said that you don't know if he even existed. Well, even if he didn't exist, you just place the fact that the Quran was written 1400 years ago, and the science in the Quran is only being discovered today, brother. Only being discovered today. Less than 100, 200 years ago. You know, so it's enough if you're truly looking. If you're looking for an excuse, any excuse will do. You know, I deal with a lot of people, and you know, not for religion, but for business, and the staunchest of excuses you'll find. I mean, people use excuses that, I mean, it will blow your mind, the excuses that people use. Okay, don't look for an excuse. You know, I mean, from one brother to the other, I'm begging you, don't look for an excuse. Look for the truth. Okay, and the truth, you will find it when you take some time, reflect on your own, away from everyone. Ignore the Muslims, ignore the Christians, ignore the atheists, ignore everyone, and you spend time by yourself and reflect. And one thing I'd recommend to you, you know, if you still believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, recite the 4 quls. You recite the 4 quls, and then start to think. It's strong enough to help you. Okay, so with that, I end this video. And you know, I gotta run because I'm actually running late to work. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.